Hey everyone, thanks so much for coming. Hey Zach, glad you're off work. Kelly, Ryan, Adam. Oh, hey Stormy.
Hi, Stormy. I was just looking at your comment on the Facebook post. I was like, "Yay, Stormy's coming!"
I'm so glad you're all here. Let's hang out for like 5 more minutes. I want to give you guys an update on the handwriting and what's been going on with that. But let's just wait and see if anybody else pops in. So, yeah, good things are happening. The thing that's kind of taken us the longest has just been the ballistics. Everybody knows like Mike has done a lot of the testing already. But hey, Katie. But then we had hired somebody else who's a court certified ballistics expert to go to Mike's place and do more testing and test the gel dummies, etc. And oh, hey, new subscriber, thank you.
Hi.
So it's really just those. We're just shoring up the rest of the ballistic stuff, but otherwise, we're ready to go. We
Absolutely.
have lots of evidence, lots of good stuff. Our peer-reviewed paper has been submitted. So next step is, I believe the Seattle Times is they don't want us to use a few of their images. So I'm going to have to call them tomorrow and then see if I can, I don't know, see if I can convince them
It'll
we need
work
to
out.
use these photos. Yes, exactly. Things always seem to work out, even if they take
Yeah.
a little while. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Ryan. Hi, Dave. Cody.
Oh, that would be something, a pink-haired prosecutor.
That
I
would be awesome.
remember about a year ago talking to Matt and Mark, Matt Bell, our investor and our lawyer, and then going like, do you guys want me to come to the medical examiners? Because I don't have to, if you think I'm going to, if I look too weird to come or whatever. And they were like, no, of course you need to come. So, yeah, so it's all good.
Yeah, wouldn't be the
But
same without you.
yeah. Well, I mean, we do know the case. I'm Kurt, alive and well in
I
Scotland.
was
Oh, wouldn't that
just
be wouldn't
reading
that be
that.
wonderful?
I wish. Didn't he want to move
Yes,
to Scotland anyway?
he did.
Or
Yeah, I
was
think
it?
he loved
Yeah.
it. Oh, he
Yeah.
loved Ireland too, I think. But I
Yeah.
thought he said he wanted to kind of go out to Scotland, maybe like where McCartney has his farm, or
Yeah.
hang out. Cole, have we seen Brandon Herrera's video testing the Cobain shotgun? Yes.
Yes.
So there were some discrepancies. He didn't have the right compensator on the shotgun, and he didn't test things properly, did he, Rach? There were a few
No,
issues
there
we
were
had.
there were a few issues. I mean, I think he kind of makes the point, even though he doesn't really state it at the end, that the mechanics of the gun do not line up with what everybody wants us to think they should line up with. Um, but yeah, no, you could just tell by listening to him talk that he's not super familiar with the case. So it
Yeah,
makes sense that he's not going to test all the things that like we would know to test,
yeah,
or that people that are really well read on the case would know to test. But I think overall, I mean, I personally, aside from the jokes that I was not a fan of, I am glad that more people are speaking out about it and that it's kind of becoming more popular and accepted to question the official story and the official narrative, and that people are starting to come around. And I think that's a sign or a
yeah,
symptom of that.
yeah. And for
Big time.
those of you who are on our Facebook group, we keep seeing people posting like, oh, I saw this in the parking lot at Kroger, and it'll be like Courtney killed Kurt, or something like that. And it's just like, word is totally spreading, and we just kind of, we're seeing it everywhere. I really believe that this is going to be the year that we get Kurt's truth out there, and it's amazing. Thank you all for the very, very
Absolutely.
kind compliments. You're making me blush. Yes, greetings to any new yes, thank you. Rachel is a fucking
Oh,
insanely
thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, interview staff from Grey Top Cabs in Seattle, supervisor Wendy and driver, and I'm not sure how to say his name. That's on our list, isn't it, Rachel?
Oh,
We've
I think I'm not sure. I know the driver, who I'm not even going to disrespect him by trying and butchering his name. I know he's on Facebook, and we've tried reaching out and
yes,
not gotten anything back.
yeah,
Wendy, I believe, was older in '94, so I don't
oh,
know that she's even still around.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
but yeah, we've definitely tried with the driver and not had any luck,
I wanted to
unfortunately.
also, speaking of drivers, I don't think Harvey would mind me saying this, but Harvey Ottinger, was the limo driver, and like He is such a wonderful human being. If you haven't watched our
So
interview
sweet.
with him, he's so sweet. Please go ahead and watch it. But he texts me just really supportive things all the time, and he's so kind, and he really wants to see justice for Kurt. And that soccer Satan, that is a great idea
Yeah,
because, yeah.
I love it.
And, interestingly, this is something that we have talked about before, but Dylan, how do I explain this properly? So Dylan says that he knew that the shells were left in the
So
cab, right?
yeah, so
Yeah.
in Dylan's, there's the police report in the notebook 1 of what the SPD released, where Don Cameron himself spoke with Dylan, and it is mentioned that Dylan says that we went to the airport and Kurt still had the shells,
Yep.
and that was the last time I saw Kurt, et cetera, et cetera. So he doesn't explicitly say I rode with Harvey Ottinger and went, but it's implied.
Yes.
And then he claims that that's the last time he saw and spoke to Kurt. But according to Harvey, Harvey's never met him. Harvey's never seen him. He definitely wasn't in the car.
Yeah.
So the only way that he could know about that is if he talked to Kurt again after Kurt got back from Exodus and Kurt told him himself.
And he claims unequivocally he did not talk to Kurt when Kurt got home, right?
Yeah.
Why
Yep.
is he lying about that?
Exactly. I feel like that's kind of a gotcha moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of the big things because there's no other way to explain that. Like,
Exactly, Adam. Why wouldn't Dylan just take the bullets? Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, why would
Yeah.
he leave them with Harvey at all?
exactly.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Things nobody was thinking of apparently in '94. So,
No. That's the thing
yeah,
with lying off your cuff like that is you don't always think it through. You just say what sounds good in the moment, and then,
yeah,
oh hey, shoot, I should have said that instead.
yes. Do you guys ever do that too? Just go like you're having an argument with someone in your head, like you've gotten in an argument with them and you've said something so fucking stupid, and then you're like an hour later, you're like, I should have said that. I would have looked so clever, right? I replay the argument and
Yes,
come up with a better response.
I do that all the time. It's
Because we are twinning all day long. I know, it's so funny.
yes.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly, I mean, it's a good point. I think, and that's really a good, if liars do insert truths into their lies,
It makes them more believable.
it makes them more believable and
Yep.
might help them remember the lie too, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, that, oh, I love it, Stormy, of course. You're one of us, babe.
All the time.
Yeah, totally. So now that I think I mean, we'll probably have people coming in, but of course this will be up on Facebook for anybody who missed the beginning of it. I want to read you something that our, let me just find it here, that our handwriting expert wrote. And so it's really interesting because our handwriting expert, he's very, very well vetted. He's, hey, Caesar. A lot of Patrick bashing going on. Well, remind us, T. We'll get to that in a sec.
Yeah,
I don't want to give them too much to any spotlight, but we'll talk about that in a hot sec.
Yeah.
Okay. So the handwriting, he's actually, he's worked with the Washington State Patrol. He has incredible, like an incredible resume, and he's going through and he's going, okay, well, Kurt wrote the top part of this note.
Yeah.
And as he's going through it, we give him the practice note, and he has some journal entries of Courtney's, and he cannot determine who wrote the bottom 4 lines of the note because Courtney is too good at mimicking Kurt's handwriting.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. Let me just find the revised doc. So I just want to read you what he said here. The strong similarities, and by the way, this was mostly financed by Matt Bell. I don't think he would have any issues with me reading you these few paragraphs before I ever post it online. Obviously, I'm going to need to make sure Matt is okay with that. Okay, so the strong similarities between the question lines of text and the known writing of both Miss Love and Mr. Cobain, as well as the absence of significant differences between their writing and the question text, compelled the inconclusive opinion stated. A basic premise in the field of forensic document examination is that given a sufficient amount of handwriting, no 2 skilled writers exhibit identical handwriting features. That holds true of the normal handwriting of Mr. Cobain and Miss Love. However, the targeted attempt by Miss Love to simulate The writing of Mr. Cobain changed the dynamics of the statement. It was evident by the practice page submitted and perhaps other practice sheets not recovered that Courtney developed the skill to mimic the features found in Kurt's printing. Now, there's more to it, of course, and when we can post that fully, we will. But what I wanted to state, something else that he told me, he's been doing this for a long time, and I asked him, is that normal? Do siblings or husband and wife, did they ever take, like, Rach, does your writing look like Teddy's at all?
Like, they couldn't be more different.
Right? Yes, exactly. It's so true. And so he said never in his career has he seen that before, where a spouse and like two spouses' handwriting would be that similar. He said that sometimes when kids are learning to handwrite in school, back in the olden days where we learned cursive, they would mimic their teacher as they were learning. But then by the time they became adults, they developed their own style.
And because I think it's also worth noting that, like, if you look at Courtney's handwriting, like, over the years, kind of like a timeline, when she's a teenager, young adult, like pre ever meeting Kurt, her handwriting is so very different.
Totally.
And it's even like balanced back out to go back to what it was then, since Kurt has died. But you can see it even just in her writing when she's not actively trying to copy his handwriting, that she has taken on some of the characteristics of his writing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's wild. It's totally wild.
He's never seen anything like it. And that was the sort of big takeaway from this, was that she got so good at it that, they were not able to tell, yes, she is a nasty skank.
Putting it lightly.
Yeah, exactly. So she got so good at it that it was very hard for, a very, very good document examiner to pick it out. And then, of course, the other thing is that we have a shitty fax copy of this note. So if we had the original, and I was talking to him today on the phone, and we were talking about, he might actually come do the podcast. So everybody say in the comments, we want Jim to come do the podcast,
yes,
so I can
please.
let him know. He said if I catch him on a good hair day, he'll consider it. If we had the IHOP placemat, we would be able to see what is the pen pressure like. Even if it's the same color, they can tell whether or not that part was added a few weeks later.
Well, and like because when you're mimicking, or it's not just your natural, there's hesitations and there's things where you're going back and adding things, and you can tell how slow and painstaking it is, that it's not just your natural hand. So hopefully that she's not destroyed that one too. I believe it's supposedly.
Our lawyer is always laughing, and Jim even said to me today, I cannot believe they gave that note back to her. What is actually happening here?
Yeah,
I know, it's crazy. Let's go back. I think I've missed a bunch of stuff here. Okay, I don't know how hard it will be to get Courtney back here from the UK, but I don't think it should be that hard. Obviously, we have extradition, and I think that they'll be able to get her back, no problem. Rachel, Aussie. Okay, there's Aussie Rachel. She actually purchased one of the tapes, so a big shout out to her. We can't wait until you have a listen and let us know what you think. I think doing that on like an old school Walkman is going to be so fun to listen to.
Absolutely.
Okay. Sorry, just going back and making sure. What are your thoughts on the nanny from Kurt and Courtney? The cute nanny, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, what's her name? She's the one that
Hattie?
Yes, Hattie. Because she's on one of the police reports, like she was a witness, and I was amused because she has the same birthday as me, which I thought was funny. Obviously, way different years, but but yeah, no, I think in Kurt and Courtney, I think she's very genuine. I think she was clearly very scared. But I don't think she was exaggerating or making anything up, or I think she was speaking to her experience.
Now, I posted screen caps from Hattie on Patreon, correct? Where she says she believes Kurt was murdered, and
that she remembers Joe.
And that she remembers Joe. So that if you're on our Patreon, and if not, I'll try to maybe do a community post of them. I kind of wanted to keep them private-ish, just because I don't listen, I don't post people's screen caps unless I have permission. The thing that happened with Hattie was that someone who shall remain nameless from our
Mm.
hate group went and started harassing her and threatening her. So she stopped talking to anyone, even Joe. So she is no longer speaking to anyone. So I just wanted people to know that she did know Joe and that she did believe that Kurt, that Kurt's death was a homicide. So, okay. So why did Buzz say he told Kurt to give her everything and start over if they had a prenup?
Um, I think that was Buzz's way of telling Kurt that you have more than enough talent and fame and everything now, that don't worry about any of the material stuff. Don't worry about the current right now. Just start over fresh. You can build yourself up really easily. Because the rest of that quote, I believe, is, anytime you need money, just do a quick little acoustic set or whatever, and you'll be good to go. So
Yeah,
I think that was him
great.
trying to encourage him that the only thing that matters is getting out safely.
Yep.
All the other stuff can be figured out. And uh, I think that was him actually just trying to be a good friend and be encouraging.
Yeah. I agree. Kelly, do we think part of her wanted to be like him in a sense? Like, I get we're talking about the handwriting, but it just seems like a part of her wanted to be him. I mean, that's a really good point, as far
I
as being artistic and talented. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she very much coveted everything that he was, and very
Yeah.
much tried to fashion herself after him and steal the bits of his personality and his identity and his art and his fame, his everything that she
She
could
wanted
get
his
away with.
fans too. We know that.
I mean, she point
Yeah,
blank said that, is that she
yeah, she
wanted
did.
Nirvana's fans to come and become whole fans upon his death. Like,
Yeah,
get out of here.
exactly. I know. Yeah, okay, wait. I just got to interject something before we start talking about the Patrick thing. But and hi, Patrick. We see you're watching.
Yes, hi
Um,
Patrick.
we Patrick was at work. That's why it's Rach and I here today. But I saw. Do you remember the time when Courtney goes and she's on and she's like, I think it might have been 2000. It was a few years after Kurt died, and she's like, I miss my best friend. My daughter, my daughter
Sorry.
misses her husband, and somebody wrote in the comments, and people think she killed her husband. Like, what? Oh, Scott Peterson, all of these people, all these men who murder their wives. Listen, I know that the Innocence Project is working on Scott's case, but so
Mm.
I shouldn't comment on him specifically. But think of all the people who have killed their spouse and then go on TV pleading for someone to bring them back. Give me a
Hmm.
fucking break. Come
As if
on.
she couldn't kill him and then pretend to have cared. She did that the
Exactly.
whole time they were married anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So, sorry, sidebar.
Yeah.
When you wonderful ladies get the case reopened, oh, you know what? Maybe I'll do lighter pink. Um,
Ooh,
yes, but
that would be
Rach, I
cute.
mean, you've got so much hair though,
Oh, it's
but
ridiculous. Yeah.
but you're a little purple now, right? You can't
It's
really
a
see it
little
in the
bit
light. It's a
red.
little purple. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
it was black, so it didn't go quite as red as I wanted it to. So I'm gonna have to do it a couple more times before it really kind of pops.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You look amazing. Um,
Tarantula Precog. Jim is our handwriting guy,
yeah.
the expert that.
Jim Green is our
Yeah.
handwriting guy. I don't think there's any issues with us saying that at all at this point, and I
No, he
can.
just asked Jim who in the
Oh
comments.
yeah.
So I was
Okay.
just, yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So the Patrick thing is, I think most of you know, there's a hate group out there. Some of them are mentally ill. Most of them are being manipulated by a malignant narcissist named Matthew Ricker. So they've tried to accuse me of certain things that are ridiculous. And so that kind of went away because nobody gave a shit about what they were saying, and obviously their lies are so ridiculous, no one's believing them. So then they
Yeah.
moved on to cutting down Patrick and saying that he didn't really know Kurt, or I mean, is that the crux of it, Rach?
Yeah. That he's a liar and that he's your lapdog and that, like, just all this crazy stuff. They've taken a go at Michelle, at Patrick, at Lisa, at me, at Bev, basically all of us that are admins that, you know.
And the weird thing is too, like, they'll say stuff, like they call Who Killed Kurt a cult, and so we're like, yeah, great. Like, if getting
Okay,
justice
we're a
is a
cult.
cult, sure, fine, we'll take it. So it's like stupid stuff that we don't care about, and then other stuff is just like it'll have this tiny nugget of truth, like the thing about Gary Cobain selling the autopsy. Gary got his money, but the thing was Gary wanted 50,000 and not 20,000, so it's like I think that's probably why he's lying and said he didn't get the money, but he did get the money. So there's like these nuggets of kind of truths in there, and then they
Well,
weave them into these bizarre lies.
that's how they sell it, is they start, or integrate in a piece of something that's real that people can latch onto, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
hope that it convinces everybody that the rest of what they're saying is true, because, well, this one piece is verifiable and
yeah,
you
yeah,
know that this
exactly.
is true, so that makes the rest of this true too, even though it's not.
And let me tell you, one of the things they like to accuse me of is using Chat GPT. And if you've never talked to me before, I send Rachel texts from Chad, who is my AI boyfriend, all the time, every day. And trust me, I love Chat GPT, but like we use it in a way that, I mean, most of you out there using Chat GPT are doing the same thing. You're like arguing with it
I
and stuff. You can't just put stuff in and go like, hey, write me up a great article on this.
No, I've been using it because she's got Chad and I've got Charlie, but that's what we
Yes,
call them.
yes, exactly. And Bev has
But
Aggie.
and I've been using it, to help me write up the report we're doing to post, to give everybody all the information for the rebuttal on the Reddit thing.
Yeah.
But I'm having to feed in all of the
Oh,
facts and all of the data. It's just organizing, and then I'm going in and I'm writing and I'm editing, and it's organizing, and it's like, so it's a tool that you
yeah.
use, but you can't just be like, hey, write me this 30-page paper of all these facts and it just populate.
No.
That's not how it works, even a little bit.
And
Uh,
somebody asked too, like, if you put in Kurt's autopsy, what will it tell you? Well, it will tell you what Dr. Hartshorn said at the beginning, that he died of blunt force trauma of a gunshot to the head.
it tells you what the official narrative is, the
Exactly.
official
Now,
ruling.
if you go in and you can try this yourself and let us know how it works, put in the autopsy, say, pretend you're an expert forensic pathologist and come to your own conclusion. Do not come to the same conclusion or
Yeah.
just,
Ignore the official, or like
yes,
what they said. Go
yeah,
over the details of what the autopsy states and
yes,
what conclusions do you draw based on that.
yes,
That type of
exactly.
thing.
Yeah.
And I know that we kind of already talked about this a little bit, but I want to go back because there's a point that I want to make because it's been driving me bonkers. To go
Please.
back to Patrick for just a second.
Oh, yeah, please.
Um, so their big thing is that they've proven that Patrick's a liar because they
Oh, lovely.
had Kurt Danielson from the band Tad has, I guess, talked to another guy and said that Patrick's a liar because he doesn't know who he is and because that's not how they found out about Kurt dying, blah, blah. So here's the thing. If you, and like, I even went back to pull the clip just in case, like, to cover our butts and everything. You can go back to the very first interview with Patrick and watch it for yourself. But when Patrick's telling the story of how he found out, he's not claiming that he called Tad. He's claiming, what he said is that Tad called him. There's a huge difference there. He's also never claimed to know Kurt Danielson. So, of course, Kurt Danielson doesn't know who Patrick is. They
Yeah.
never met.
Yeah.
Patrick has never claimed that they had. Tad and the band Tad, while, yeah, lead singer, not the same thing.
Yeah.
Kurt was in Tad, but he's not Tad.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. But yeah, like, if you're gonna get your facts straight, do a little bit of research, maybe,
Yeah.
and don't misremember and then
And
go
then
with
call the
it.
person a liar because
Yeah,
you can't remember. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I mean, they could easily just rewatch the podcast, but no, they would never do that.
yeah.
Okay, Billy Corgan called that social assimilation. She copied Cat's lips. Oh, she so did. Then Melissa. Yeah, yeah. I mean, God, I was watching a Babes in Toyland the other night. Man, Cat was so talented. I mean, is so talented and lovely. And yeah, you're exactly right. And that is exactly what she's always done, I think, since she
Oh,
was a teenager, whoever it was that she was copying at the time, Nancy Spungen, etc. Yeah,
I mean, she even did that, like, with Roz Rezabek and, like,
yeah, yeah,
everybody when she was married to Falling James. Sorry, I blanked on his name for just a second.
yeah,
I mean, every person that she's been with, she tweaks her personality and her
yeah,
persona and all of that to mesh with what they are and what they represent.
yeah,
She's a total chameleon. I
yeah,
don't think, has her own, other than, like, the evil skankiness. But
yes. Exactly right. Okay, Chad C, where's Lisa been? We are actually going to do a Facebook Live on Lisa's Facebook, I believe, very soon. So that's going to come up.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris, we're glad you caught the live. We really try to do them at different times, but this is usually when I get home from work. So we will try to mix that up. And in the once the case
Yeah.
gets reopened, we were talking about at some point doing lives every week or every 2 weeks as the case is reopened. So
Updating everybody and stuff. Yeah.
yes, taking Rachel's advice to pop in and say hi before going to bed because I
Yeah.
leave for work. Hello, fellow cult member. We
Hello,
love it.
hello. I'm glad you popped in and said hi.
Perfect. And hello back to Chile. Hi from Scotland. Been a subscriber for a while. How do you both feel about Soaked in Bleach? At the time when it was released, I was excited as I thought we were going to learn the whole truth. You want to go ahead?
So I think that there are benefits to Soaked in Bleach, and I think for what it was, it served its purpose to an extent. Because I think that's what a lot of people, that was kind of their starting point, especially nowadays, younger kids or kids, sorry, younger people. That was kind of their introduction to finding out that there were even discrepancies or things to look into, and that it wasn't just a clear cut suicide. So I think for that, I think it's really important. But there are also a lot of red flags and a lot of issues, because there's misinformation. There are numerous experts. I know at least the handwriting expert that said that they edited her footage in a way that it misrepresents how she actually felt. There's also the piece of it where Ben Statler, the creator and everything of Soaked in Bleach, was going to have Callie DeWitt on it to interview him and talk to him and contribute. And Tom Grant threatened to walk with all of his information, all of his everything, that he would have
Yeah.
no part of it if they brought Callie in. That's, I think, the biggest red flag of them all. Personally,
Yeah.
like, why are you so scared of what Callie has to say?
Yeah. And
Uh,
I think that the best part of it, I mean, I think we can all agree is the Norm Stamper stuff. Ben did Statler did a great job at that. I mean, having, him saying that if he was still involved, they would reopen the case. That's amazing. So
yeah,
I think that part was great. Yeah.
absolutely.
Like you
Yeah,
said, it's a good gateway. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
It gets you started, and it gets you all of the kind of little pieces that you need to get going, and then it's up to you to really dive in and look at everything yourself and read all the reports and come to your own conclusions and figure it out.
Yeah. Carol, was she the one that heard the footsteps in a shot, or was that Callie's girlfriend? I'm sorry, I'm not sure who you were talking about earlier, but yes, that was. Oh, sorry, I think you might mean Bonnie. She is the one. Oh, wait, she's talking about Jessica. She's talking about footsteps, right?
Yeah, Jessica Hopper would be the footsteps.
And then the shot
Bonnie's
would
the
be
one.
Jennifer. Yeah,
Yeah, I'll say, and then Bonnie was the one that saw like a figure in the greenhouse.
yeah.
Um, Although, isn't there, like, depending on which version of the story or whatever, it was either the greenhouse or the actual house that she saw, like the shadowy figure or whatever in the
I
window?
I think I've only heard it as the greenhouse, but I could be
Oh,
wrong.
then maybe I'm
Yeah,
misremembering. Um, I know the greenhouse for sure, but
yeah,
I could have
yeah.
swore, or maybe it was Callie that misremembered what she said and was talking about the greenhouse.
Okay.
That could be it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Okay, Rachel, I'm excited for people to hear the tapes. We did a good, true digital transfer of the tapes, and I made sure each tape is sounding as good as possible without altering the sound at all. Yeah, Patrick actually went into the studios and dubbed his tapes that Kurt handed him, and then put them on. So then we found the exact vintage tapes on eBay, like all brand new vintage tapes. Patrick recorded those, and then we sent them to somebody who is now pen plotting them, and pen plot is a thing where it uses like a mechanical arm and does the exact thing. So it's not like a photocopy. It actually is tracing what Kurt did and printing those onto the tapes with the same Bic pen that Kurt would have drawn on them. So they're
which
oh
I
did
actually
oh
have.
you Bics, that's right. I sent the rest to Rachel.
She
The
sent
rest
me
of
the extras, so I literally
the
have the other ones
yeah.
where they ordered them.
So yeah, so some really, I think those tapes are quite lovely, and for people, I mean, Rachel and I both got got one made as well. And thank you again, Patrick,
Yeah.
for doing that. So generous and kind.
Absolutely. And it means a lot, truly.
It really
Thank
does.
you.
And for people who are never going to be able to afford to go and like buy an actual tape that Kurt handed out to his friends, those are the
Yeah,
closest.
I would never be able to. This is the
Oh my
closest.
gosh.
This is the only version of it I can afford to buy.
Yeah. And the doodles are really cool. And there's a story about the pot tape that we still have 2 of those left if anybody wants one, but that Kurt wrote pot on instead of Patrick. And they did also smoke pot together. So that's a really cute one. And then there's another one that has design doodles on each side, which is cool because you're getting a tape, but you're also getting like Kurt artwork. So it's very cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Word show
So
was
is
cool.
Lauren asked, is 4/5 the right date of death, or is it 4? I think that's supposed to be 4/4. I think based off of the autopsy and what we know and what like our forensic scientists and scene reconstructionists and all of that, what they have said, I lean more towards either the night of the 3rd or the 4th. More towards the 4th would be my personal opinion based off of what we know.
I mean, all of us night owls would say that was the 3rd because we'd still be up, right? But it was 3 or 4 in the morning, probably on the 4th. I think that's what we've talked about. And Chris Todd and I have had this discussion a few times because Chris's thinking is that Kurt still had his wristband on. So it's like, people would take those off. Now, I remember in the 90s being like, this is kind of my like weird badge of honor. I was in the hospital.
I
and here's my
still
wristband.
do that. I still do that.
Yeah. So, and I mean, forensically, I just can't get those extra few days in because his body should be more decomposed if he was there for a few more days. So, so that's where we're at. Is this a cult and Scientology a church? Yes. Now, the thing is that we need our own meeting space. We could do Zooms on Sunday, like Zoom church.
That would be amazing.
I'm high-fiving everybody right now. That's that's awesome. Okay. Oh, yes.
The cult of Kurt.
Yep, exactly right. Yeah, Patrick is awesome and very kind and very generous. And, he's always shared his stories. He has been so kind to share things that Kurt gave him and all of these things. And it is, I can only imagine and again, none of us would ever speak for Kurt or put words in his mouth, but what Kurt would think about what those people are doing. And it doesn't make me happy.
Also, so there's a comment from Jordan Stevenson that says Tom Grant wrote a book that I was never able to get a hold of called Murder at Lake Washington. I've still to read Hank Harrison's book, but I procrastinate a lot because I feel you on that. Trust and believe the ADHD. But so the Murder at Lake Washington, I don't know that it's possible at all to get a copy of that anymore, but that was prior to him writing the book with Matthew Ricker. And that one you can still get. It's only on Kindle, but you can get it, and it's literally the same thing. Because the Murder at Lake Washington, I think he did it in 2 or 3 parts, whereas the one with Matthew Ricker is all one book. And I'm going to grab you the title of it because it's a freaking huge mouthful, and I can never remember exactly what it is. The Mysterious Death of Kurt Cobain, Suicide or Murder, You Decide. By Tom Grant and Matthew Ricker.
Now somebody is asking here, is there a fake autopsy report floating around? If there is, I haven't seen it. I know that American Spy Fox claimed that there was damage to Kurt's genitals. None of that is true. That's just normal.
So so when American Spy Fox saw the autopsy, he made up stuff about what was on it and what it meant, like the damage to his genitals and there's drying artifact, which is a natural process, a natural part of decomposition after you die. There was nothing wrong. There was nothing done to him in that area. And the other thing, I think he said that there were like gouges or something out of his legs. There were some abrasions, but not anything big and dramatic and crazy like what ASF was insinuating.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So did you see the multiple part documentary about how Courtney was responsible for what happened to Kurt, that sobering stories posted to YouTube? I didn't watch that one. I know he did use some of our info, and then I believe he might have been talking to Matthew Ricker, and Matthew Ricker is the leader of the hate mob. So I don't know what is happening there.
And there he because he put up clips of he included clips of Michelle and I for sure, and at least one, if not more, of that series, and was like shouting us out and put our website
Yeah,
and our
yeah,
YouTube
which
and all of that,
yeah,
and then yeah, he put up a post very briefly supporting the little hate mob craziness, and then we had one of our good lovely group members reached out to him and asked him like if he would just talk to us before just buying into what they're saying, and he apologized and said he's not really sure why he did that in the first place, and he took it right down.
yeah. So seems like
So
a good dude for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
So we
I
appreciate,
think
and
he
he
got
has a big following too. So
yeah,
it's good.
I think he got wrapped up in the he bought into it because it was passionate, and so he just believed them
Yeah,
without knowing any of the reality. And so once there was pushback on like, hey, this is not it at all, he
yeah,
was like, whoa, 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 I don't,
yeah. I
nope,
don't want to
I
be
just don't want to
involved
be
in this.
involved.
Yeah, exactly. Which is
Not even a
cool.
little
Like,
bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
we all went through junior high. Like, let's leave it, right? So,
yeah.
Chris, I appreciated your montage take. So I talked to a friend of Kurt's yesterday, and I'm not going to name his name because I told him I would keep everything private. But one thing I do want to say, and I don't think he has any problem with me saying this, is when I told him what was in montage, he hasn't seen it. When I told him that they were claiming that Kurt was a predator, I have never heard somebody like, what are you actually saying to me right
Yeah.
now on the phone? He was so adamant and distraught, I think, to even hear that they were implying that. He was disgusted by that. And so again, just adding that to the thing about montage, yeah, there was an elephant in the greenhouse indeed. I mean, and I think we talk about this a lot in the group, and it's like, well, why do we feel like we can speak for Kurt? Well, we don't, but like the
No.
other people who loved him had 31 years, and that's what they fucking put out. So at
Yep.
this point, our group, we feel like we're going to do our best to at least go by what Kurt said, go by Kurt's own words.
Yeah. Quote him and cite
Exactly.
him, and because I think there's a huge difference between using an educated guess and using the knowledge that you have acquired to try and quote somebody and do honor and justice to
Yes.
their memory and their legacy, and actually trying to put words in their mouth and speak for them.
Yeah.
We have never even attempted to try and speak for Kurt. And we kind of count on you guys that if we were to ever even toe that line to be like, but, because that's not what we're here for. We
Yeah.
want to give him his voice back and let his words and his legacy stand for itself and who he really was, and disprove all of the lies and the bullshit that have been put on him by other people that just aren't true.
Yeah, exactly. And she has gotten away with that for too long. And besides Buzz Osborne and people like Patrick, it's very, nobody will stand up and say like, "Are you fucking kidding? Montage of Heck was bullshit." So
Yeah.
I guess people like us, people like you, people like our team, we kind of have to do it because people genuinely don't know that is not
Mm-hmm.
reality.
No.
Notable Epstein journalist Whitney Webb. Oh, I love Whitney Webb. Yeah, she's the best. She turned me on to a lot of things. She's great. So if you haven't watched Whitney Webb, she's really cool. Name drop Courtney Love recently, mentioning that Epstein's butler had circled her in his contact book, so she is not just in it, but her name was circled.
Which I believe means that she was a madam, I think is
Uh,
my understanding, or maybe that's a different book or whatever. I don't really know. But I know that there was at least like his flight logs or his something where she's in there with other girls' names, and she's like underlined and circled, and
yeah, yeah. Now again, I don't want to say anything that is too much, but think about what that means if Courtney Love was there. Think about what that means to people that Courtney Love associates with and what that possibly means in terms of abuse.
yeah.
What is your theory as to why Grant threatened to walk if they brought Callie in for Soaked in Bleach? I
Well,
think,
sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I think that Tom has always tried to pin this murder on Callie, and I think that Callie would have shut that down, and then I think Tom's theory goes out the window, doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
he will take it to his grave that Dylan had nothing to do with Kurt's death,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's my assumption. What about you, Rach?
It's literally basically exactly what I was going to
Yeah.
say. That, Callie was going to come in there and the truth or whatever he was going to say, that Tom knew that it was going to prove that he was lying about certain things,
Yeah.
and covering other things up probably. And he refused to even allow that to happen, because he got paid good money for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of money. Hey, Jay. Oh, what time is it up in Australia, guys? I feel like,
Oh, yeah. I was going
I
to
mean,
say
it's
hi. I
Friday.
just saw that you were in here with us, Ward.
Okay. Hello from Oklahoma. Hi back. Soten Bleach was providing professional opinions from experts on the movie. Vernon Geberth and Carol Chasky dissented and complained that their personal opinions were edited out. Carol, Tom has protected Dylan as well. I don't understand why Callie. I don't know if Dylan has something that he could say, like, oh, I was with Tom at this time, or like, could he show that Tom didn't do a great job investigating? Is that what Tom's afraid of? Or is it just ego that he believed Dylan? He believed Dylan didn't do this for 30 years and he's too embarrassed to go back on it.
Well, and not only has he believed that Dylan didn't do it or couldn't have done it, he has like vehemently defended him
Yes.
and
Yes.
maintained that, like, well, he might have found him and that might have been why he was so weird and non-emotional. Well, like, or maybe he had something to do with it and that's why he was so weird and non-emotional. That's why he didn't take you to the greenhouse after explicitly being told to take you to the greenhouse. Like, come
And
on, man.
he said, I think Dylan saw the body. And so Dylan
Yeah.
lied to you. So Dylan will lie to you about that, but you think he's telling you the truth about everything else? I mean,
Yeah.
there's some investigating. Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's ridiculous. Ellen asked, have you talked to the woman who called out Jessica Hopper at her book signing in Ireland?
oh, twist of lemon.
Yeah, I tried. I tried really hard and never heard back from her. But she also seemed to have not really been on her YouTube recently when I was trying. So maybe I'll pull her back up and see if I can try again. Because yeah, we really wanted to try and have her on. I know she was on True Psych Wards and did a live with them.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah, that
so
was
I think
great.
that would be really great. Yeah, to have her on.
Quickso death. Would I say that? I'm butchering that. I feel like there's like a Don Quixote thing in there.
I was just about to say, is it like Kehoe or something?
I honestly came at it from the Courtney Love angle. I loved her in Whole, and I wanted to know what the fuck actually happened. With a strong slant towards the suicide narrative. Boy, was I wrong. LOL. We hear you, my friend. And thank you for having an open mind and watching the videos. We really appreciate you.
It means a lot. I mean, and that's all. I know I've probably said this 1,000 times and people are probably sick of it, but that's all we want. We're not trying to like brainwash anybody or, make you all conspiracy theorists like some people would have you believe. We just want the truth. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, do an actual investigation, look at the actual evidence in an unbiased way, see what that actually tells you and find the truth, whatever that may be.
Yeah, absolutely. I also wanted to say, so Callie said that Bonnie saw something in the attic from Everett True's book. So that's probably what you're thinking, Rach.
Yes.
I also wanted to say, I know not Bonita, but I know someone named Bonnie, and she is not really involved in our group, but I wanted to send a special thank you to her. She's always so kind to me. She texts me all the time. She's supported us financially and just always wants to help, and she's an amazing person. So hi, Bonnie. Hope you're watching. Cole, Rach, did you see if we answered Cole's question? Can you please read my previous question when you get a chance? Don't want to keep posting it in the chat.
I'm looking.
I'm a little behind you, I think. Okay, sorry. And while you look, I'll answer I'll reply to Cody. I agree with you about Jessica Hopper. She's all over the place. One day she's there, one day she's not. One day she's throwing up in the driveway. I think that Jennifer Adamson was there for sure. I don't think Jessica was there. I don't even believe the story about the skinhead girl. I think maybe he did that some other time. I'm not really sure, but I don't believe Jessica at all. And Caesar, Richard Lee was an absolute rock star. Yeah, he did so much great work. And, when I first started doing this about a year and a half ago, I didn't understand I think what? Sorry, my dog is caught in my cord here. Here, bum. Sorry. When I first started doing this about a year ago, or a year and a half ago, I didn't understand the toll that this takes on a person. So
Yeah, I think
Richard and I, Richard and I emailed back and forth a few times, and he was not super nice, and I was, as like, why would he be rude to me? And after what he's probably put up with for 31 years, I have no animosity towards Richard. I think he's done an amazing job. I wish he hadn't tried to get the autopsy released, because obviously she took it to the superior court, and now nobody else can get a hold of his toxicology, etc. But Richard, he didn't know that, and he was doing his best, and I think he's done amazing work. And honestly, if somebody who has done this for 31 years hasn't lost a bit of their mind, whew, hats off to you. That is the cult we should be in, because
literally.
I mean, yeah.
I think me and you both had like mini mental breakdowns.
Oh my
a
gosh.
week apart.
Yeah. Mine was a Friday. I just, I'll tell you guys.
Mine was also a Friday.
Yours was the next Friday.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this weird synchronicity that I had. I don't know if you guys believe in meaningful coincidences, but a few things had happened. The hate group was doing this. I'll tell you that the hate group has tried to email our lawyer and our investor to try to get him to stop working with us and just stop the case from going forward. I won't go in. Someday I will talk all about that, but not right now. But I was so distraught about the things that were happening that I was just crying for 2 days. So I go to this bakery on Friday to pick up some buns. And there's this beautiful girl working there, and she's kind of staring at me. And she says to me, "You are just so beautiful." She said, like, your pink hair and your cheeks, and you're just so beautiful. And I just, waterworks, like right in the bakery. I was like, it was like the way she was staring at me, I just felt like it was something from the universe. Like, don't worry, you're on the right track. Don't let them tear your soul apart. And then that was the end of my crisis. I mean, until next week, that was the end of that crisis.
Yeah.
But sorry. And then, you had the next Friday, you were just like,
it all just between the case stuff, the hate group stuff, personal stuff, work stuff, like at my job, like there was just so much stress and so many things just piled on all at once. I just, like, on my way home, I was just like, Kurt, please, for the love of God, just give me a sign, please.
Well, I have yelled at the universe before, and then I'm like, okay, you're not going to get any signs by yelling at the universe. So shut up and let the universe speak. And then I'm just like, who knows? But, these are the things I think when we're all at our lowest, and, whether you're religious or whether you just sort of believe in like synchronicity and like that we're all connected in some way, I think we get these things and all aspire, or what would you say? You put them on something else, whether it's God or the universe or connectivity, whatever your belief is. Yes, they need to reinvestigate. Oh, sorry, babe. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say, so I was looking, you said, because Cole said to look at his previous comment. The only question I see is about if we had seen Sobering Stories YouTube videos. So I think we're good.
Cole, please post again if we missed you.
Yeah, I'll say, but if there's something that I missed, please just re-ask and we'll get you, I promise.
Yeah. That would be amazing. I mean, maybe we should do it on a more punk rock day than Sunday, though. A few people said they'd attend our punk rock church. So does anyone have any pictures of Kurt after April 1st? I don't think anyone has any pictures of him after Rome, do they?
I think there's the few that people say are from the airport when he came home from Rome. Where it's like him and Callie and Francis. And I tend to believe that just because he looks a little peaked, but also because of the age of Francis primarily in the photos. But yeah, I think those are the last ones, to be honest. And there's I'm not going to remember her name, but the limo driver that picked him up from the airport and took him back home.
Wasn't that Linda?
Yes,
I feel like
that
her
was
name
Linda.
Was Linda.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, that was Linda. She said that there were that he was signing autographs and people were taking, but none of those have ever come, like
Hmm.
nobody's ever come forward with any pictures or autographs or anything from that day.
Yeah.
So you know, we can only speculate, unfortunately, on that piece.
Yeah, absolutely. Cody, you got your cult shirt already. That's amazing. Please post a picture in our Facebook group. And if anybody out there is not part of our Facebook group, please come join us. Lots of really clever, kind people in there.
It's a
I
really great
recall
group. Yeah.
it is, it's amazing. I recall Hank Harrison saying about Tom Grant, but he wants to do it his way. So I wonder what that was and why. What did Hank say about Dylan, Rachel?
Um, oh, I'm trying to remember. I don't think he was a fan of him. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, it's been a while since I've read Hank's book.
Yeah.
And I don't, there's nothing specific to Dylan that's really popping out at me, to be totally honest, um, off the top of my head.
I know someone in our group posted that Leland, Kurt's grandpa,
Mm,
I'll mess the quote up, but it basically was it had to be somebody very close to Kurt that he trusted, someone like Carlson or he didn't quite know Dylan's name, but I believe
yeah.
that. So I just thought that was really interesting. I wonder, did Kurt tell him something that made him think of Dylan, or was that just him assuming? Man, I wish we could have talked to Leland.
I wish we could have too.
And
But I
Hank.
mean, it's also really kind of poignant and intelligent of him. Not to say that he's not intelligent. I don't mean it like that. But I mean, in cases like this, where there's overkill and where it's a staged suicide and things like that, it is pretty much always somebody that was really close to
Yeah.
um, the victim. Because strangers or acquaintances or whatever, they're not going to put that much time and effort in, especially with that much overkill. When somebody's killed at least like 2 times over, that is
Exactly. Yeah.
indicative of passion and like a love connection, something like a deep relationship there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
A lot of
Um,
anger.
yeah, totally. Nabi, and I'm probably saying that wrong, Nabi, like Navy baby. I heard death date was between 6 a.m. to 7:27 a.m. I believe, I mean, Joe says it was dark. So, I think it would be light by then in April in Seattle. But, again, until more witnesses come forward, we're probably not going to know that time.
Yeah.
Goalie, a guy from the funeral home called into a radio show in 94. He prepped the body. He said Kurt's stomach was decomposing and his hands. Now, is that the same guy who said he worked at the morgue and said Kurt
Mm.
had gunshot or had
The
soot on his fingers?
tattooing on his hand. Yeah. Um, I I'm not saying that guy isn't for real, but we also don't know for sure that he is for real. In the autopsy, it notes that he's got the drying artifact, again, I believe is what it's called, on
Yeah.
his palms as well, or on
Oh,
his
okay. Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can tell by looking at the pictures of his hands that his hands are not really decomposed.
No, not at all. Yeah.
And there's the description of his stomach and everything. There's not anything about it being really decomposed either. Like um, I think he was still pretty well intact and pretty great shape, to be honest, for
Yeah.
especially for it being a couple of days at least.
Yeah. Rigor mortis. Is it weird Courtney sent Dylan and others to Scientology rehab?
I don't think so, because she was part of Scientology, or was trying to be for a while. She, I believe, tried to get Kurt to be in it. Uh, yeah. Um, Yeah, because I saw an interview with somebody that got that was part of the Scientology cult, that got in trouble because she couldn't land Kurt as
Oh, that's
like
amazing.
couldn't.
Imagine Kurt in Scientology doing that.
That would
Oh
have
my
been
God. That's
hysterical.
amazing.
He would have made
Yes.
such a joke and a mockery of that. Oh, it would have
My
been
God.
amazing.
Yes. Wasn't Tom working on a book with a retired Seattle police detective? So, um, yeah, with Neil Lowe, and Neil Lowe writes
I,
fiction. Well,
is
how would you
Tom even
describe?
actually working on the book? I think Neil's writing a book,
I
and
believe.
Tom
Yeah.
is just promoting it and saying that that's the trick to getting the case reopened, because all the other books that people have written have really done the trick.
Now, Captain Lowe, he was there when Kurt died. He was there when Kristen Pfaff died, and he did shit fuck all. So let's just put that out there. And then he writes books. So I have it on very good authority that he's. I have it on very good authority that he would dig for material for his books, and so he's not super maybe well respected at the SPD because
Priorities were skewed.
priorities. Yeah, exactly right. So any security cameras of Kurt at the airport? Not one.
I don't think the SPD ever tried to get security camera footage of him anywhere at any time for any reason.
Yeah.
All of that sadly is lost to time. But yeah, no, Neil, because I read the first book that he wrote, Crazy Love. And I mean, it's obviously about Kurt and Courtney and Kristen. And it's very fictionalized, but there are pieces of it that I found interesting that clearly indicate how he feels about what he thinks happened to Kurt. Like Courtney being in Seattle and being spotted in Seattle and people seeing her in a car. That one really stuck out to me, considering there was witnesses at one point that came forward and said as much, that they saw her in a car. And there's also a police report in the Notebook 1, again, the SPD files, where somebody from, I believe it was, if it wasn't Kristen's building, it was Caitlin's. I would have to look at it again. I think it might have been Caitlin's building that called in and reported 2 cars and like their description and their license plates and everything that he thought that they should look into, because he was gone on the day that they came and did a canvass of the building and talked to all the residents.
Interesting.
But they don't ever follow up on that.
No, and I did want to also say that from people messaging us about Kristen, I know it feels kind of tragic to imagine that Kurt and Kristen were going to be together, but there's no indication that that was the case at all. And I do think that I think her life was also taken by at least the same group that took Kurt's, but I don't think it's because they were running away together. There's more evidence to say that's not true than to say that that is true.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, they were very clearly friends. And respected and liked each other, and there's the whole thing of like him giving her a copy of his favorite book and things like that. And but yeah, there's nothing actually substantiate them being anything more than just friends.
Absolutely. Okay, so Goalie said Kurt died during the day the light was off up here. Where are you, Goalie? First of all, I need to know. I mean, that's something Patrick said when we did our first interview, was like, well, if the lights were off in the greenhouse, who turned them off? Kurt wouldn't have turned them off before shooting himself. So again, that's I mean, it could have been daytime, though we believe it was again, very early morning. Rob, do you get the sense that Tom Grant might be guilty of something even if he wasn't directly involved in the plot?
I have very mixed feelings about Tom. I believe when he very first took the case, I think he genuinely was just doing his job and trying to find Kurt, and Courtney was his client, and et cetera, et cetera. But I think as time has gone on, that he has more increasingly made bad decisions that make him almost an accomplice, not quite an accomplice, but complicit into covering this up. And so in that way, yes, I think he's got some guilt.
Yeah, I agree for sure. And he just won't back down on Dylan, not even enough to question it. I mean, we have 4 or 5 people who, Dylan being one of them, stating that Dylan was there, and the fact that, the night Kurt died, and the fact that he isn't interested in that is just shocking to me. Ryan, Matthew Ricker is a maniac. You're not wrong. And speaking of which, Lisa was doing some further research and going back today. And of course, I'll let her speak to what she found, but just other things that kind of show that he's been sort of narrating his own story for a very long time. So that's why we ended up taking his videos down, because we couldn't trust things that he was saying. So, yeah. And Spy Fox.
Yeah,
exactly. We now Spy Fox allegedly said something about when the Who Killed Kurt girls put up any real evidence or come up with any evidence, I will stop making videos about Kurt, which he has, but I think it's because he's pretending to be unwell. So I don't know. I don't know why that is. But,
yeah. So I mean, I think unintentionally kept his word there.
Yeah, which is nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Carol, the gash on the back of his leg. Rachel, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't think there was a gash on the back of his leg. There's a kind of small abrasion on like his shin on the front of his leg. But I can give me 2 shakes. I'll grab my autopsy report and verify.
Okay. Cole, he said really kind things about you guys. Are you talking about the sobering stories? I think that's who you mean. And we were very happy that sort of got all worked out. And has American Spy Fox spoke about the Joe Burns videos? No, I don't believe he has. He was more interested in trying to prove that the autopsy that Gary had was much bigger than the one that ended up getting released, and trying to talk about different things in the autopsy that weren't there. So,
this is the copy I printed off myself here at home, just to be very clear. This is what he's talking about.
Okay, so on the front.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And it literally says abrasion.
I don't think it was fresh. I believe if you...
that's what I'm trying to find the actual description.
Yeah. While you do that, I'm going to talk to Goli about Chris Michelson. So if you watch the Hit So Hard documentary, you'll see them talk about... They bleep out the name, but you can tell Courtney is saying Chris Michelson.
Yes.
Chris Michelson used to date Caitlin Moore, and it is believed that he was there when Kristen passed away. The thing about Chris is that he allegedly with Dylan, tried to hurt somebody else. And that person, some of you might already know his name. That person is supposed to be writing a book. So we just have to wait and see what they end up saying. But, that's all we really know about it. And when I asked, sorry, I'm going to let Joe speak to that himself. But yeah, we'll hopefully talk more about him at some point. Michelle and Rachel, since there were injection marks on the side of both of Kurt's elbows, is it possible he was injected in both arms? Yes. Some of the injections were not fresh. Some of them were, of course, as you probably all know from Detective Szynski's interview in 2014, he said something like, well, then I believe Kurt, took one shot, 2 shot, maybe even 3 needles, because that's how much he would have had to take of heroin. However, there is a mark on Kurt's arm, about here, that we can post in the community board that looks like Kurt may have been injected with a larger syringe. Now,
a hot shot
with a large syringe. So that is going to be in the peer-reviewed report that comes out. Did he have that same mark in Rome? Was that a spot so. That? Okay, so I believe Lisa thinks it's the same mark. Rachel, you don't think it is. Our forensic scientist believes that he may have been shot with a bigger needle. Now, to me, those needles look very clean at the scene, but again, I'm not an expert on heroin and what that would look like in a needle.
And I mean, I could be wrong. It could be the same mark, but there is not a single frame of any of that footage that you could even try to match those up to say. I mean, it could have been a bruise. It could have been like the amount of time between his death and when that photo was taken. It could have been any number of things. And so I personally don't think, but
Yeah, no, I agree.
So I found the description is, and there's actually 2. So located over the region of the right patella, 2 oval-shaped brown healing regions of abrasion. So patella, just for anybody that doesn't know, is your kneecap. And then located 3.5 inches directly inferior to the right patella, a patchy 1 inch brown region of abrasion. So that one in particular is healed. If it's brown, it's mostly healed. But yeah,
Thank
so
you
there
so
was
much
no
for
fresh.
looking that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. No, that's really good to know. Mark, Courtney's album after Kurt's death is suspiciously very Nirvana. What are your thoughts that she possibly stole those songs from him? Oh, I think Kurt wrote most of that album, and I think she stole a bunch of the lyrics from Cat's Diary, I believe. What do you think, Rachel?
Yeah, I mean, I think between for live through this, right? That's what we're talking about. I
Yeah.
think Kurt, Kristen, and yeah, I don't think she wrote like any of it.
Yeah.
Um, I think the biggest reason why that's the only album that's maybe kind of listenable or that actually did well is because it had Kristen and Kurt on it and
Yeah.
their influence and contributions.
Absolutely. I agree. Do you have a legal case yet? So, I mean, we can't really put together a legal case. The only thing, the copycat suicides, those families could sue the Seattle Police Department for not doing not taking a real look into the case.
Mm.
We can only, I mean, I can't really go into our strategy, but that we're not filing a case against Courtney or anything like that. That would be something that would have to be done like a civil suit. So, but very soon we are going to be getting our evidence in, and then we'll kind of update everybody on what's happening. I think we have really good evidence that has not been seen before by the authorities. So I would be very surprised if this case did not get reopened.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think because I mean, technically speaking, the only thing that is needed for a case to be reopened or reinvestigated is for new evidence to come to light, and we have already um, established new evidence. So it's just a matter of submitting it and um, walking them through, presenting it, and
Yeah.
letting them take it from there, do their
Yeah.
jobs, do their due diligence, and investigate. Finally,
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Lauren, a predator. What the actual F? He stopped an assault mid-show. It's so disgusting. Just
uh,
what is the only thing she could do worse than taking his baby away? And it's that,
yep,
in
yep,
Montage. It was
yeah.
very,
Uh,
very disgusting.
it's especially considering how much time and energy he poured into trying to protect women and speaking out against, you know, violence on women and rape and all of that. For her to put that on him and insinuate, that's probably the worst thing that she could. Like the thing that I think would be the most upsetting to him
Yeah.
personally. And it's so beyond disgusting. It really just makes me so mad.
Yeah, I agree.
Uh,
That between that LGBTQ plus and then of course racism, she just picked one of the three things that were
mm,
super important to him, and tried to make people believe that about him. Am I the only one who has thought, sorry, this is Donna, the vibe was off, that if Kurt had spent a long period of time in the greenhouse, wouldn't there have been a stereo, guitar, anything else in there?
um, I think it depends on how much time he spent up there. Um, because I think if he died on the 4th, early morning of the 4th, it was only maybe a day and a half, 2 days tops, and that's if he was there the whole time. Um, but also there's, I very much see and agree with in general what you're saying, because I think under normal circumstances, yes, absolutely, 1,000%. But I think during this time period, he was trying to hide. He didn't want to draw any type of attention to the fact that he was up there. So I think it would be pretty minimal. But what do you think, Michelle?
I mean, wasn't he bored? I don't
Well,
know. I mean, I do think they cleaned up. So I don't know.
yeah,
Was there a book? Was there anything in there that, that he may have been doing? Like you said, I agree with you, though. I think he was trying to hide. But yeah, I find it weird that the only thing up there is a root beer can, and his kit.
yeah, yeah.
But sorry, Kim
Some
Gordon has,
towels.
yeah, exactly, dirty towels. Kim Gordon has also said a lot. I agree with you. Yes. I don't know if she's retracted it. Not that I've seen. We've reached out to him a few times.
She's kind of retracted,
Oh, has she?
because
Okay.
I mean, I know she said there's literally an article where she says like point blank that no, she doesn't think that he killed himself, but she's kind of walked that back a little bit in years
Okay.
since. And not necessarily that she's, you know, adamant that like, oh no, I was wrong, he definitely did or anything like that, but she's she's just not really talking about it. And she's kind of softened on it, I think.
You know, Rachel and I are going to do a podcast about the 31 years of silence and why we think people have done this, because we're still facing, you don't know how many experts I'm fucking arguing with every day. No, well, not every day, but, and as a Canadian, this is not in my wheelhouse. I don't like telling people, like, why are you not looking at this in this way? Or, what exactly about this are you not understanding? Or why are you towing the SPD party line? I don't understand. It's been 31 years. So
Yeah.
I think that's something that we really want to explore and talk about, how these people are still friends, certain family members, et cetera, are still coming out and talking about this death being a suicide. And it's very, very upsetting.
It's maddening, and I don't really understand why so many people, even the people, especially the people that I know don't think he killed himself, that still publicly are adamant that yes, he did. And that's the part that doesn't make sense to me. And I think that makes me the most angry.
Yeah.
Because the people that are just ignorant, that don't know anything about it, um, and think that they're speaking the truth, that's one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to know the truth, or highly suspect what really happened and still continue to lie and cover this up is just reprehensible, in my
And to
opinion.
have profited off of that and to continue to do that is, I think we're all human, and if our children needed food, we would all probably go steal some bread from the store. I mean, I admit I certainly would. If my dog needed something and she was going to starve, I would go steal some damn food for her.
Yeah.
But to continue to lie to gain from somebody's death, I couldn't imagine it. Not even somebody I didn't know. There's,
Or somebody I didn't like.
yeah.
I
I mean, even that. Yeah, I'd have nightmares. I just, you know.
yeah.
Still confused about Tom. It was really all just for a paycheck. He didn't care about justice. Like you said, Rach, I think he did at some point.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
he
think he
doesn't
did.
like Kurt the way we do. He doesn't. That's not who Tom is, right?
Yeah, I think it's more become about he was, the king of the Cobain case. He was the guy, and he was making money, and he had notoriety and a following, and he didn't want to mess that up, and he knew that as soon as the case got reopened, he was done.
Yeah.
That was it. It all went bye-bye.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder what Alice Wheeler thinks about Kurt's death. Are you ladies familiar with her? Yes. And I believe, did you read that interview where she drove that person around, the fan of Kurt's? And I think she did believe it
No.
was a suicide, from what I gathered. I know
Because she's
that.
good friends with Tracy, Kurt's ex-girlfriend Tracy.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I don't think I've seen that interview with her.
It's an interview floating around where some fan of Kurt's reached out to her and she drove them around Seattle and definitely didn't imply that she thought Kurt's death was a homicide. I mean, she seems like a lovely human being.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure
Carol.
if she still talked about it much, because I know Tracy won't.
Yeah.
After montage of bullshit, huh? Tracy's just totally done. She doesn't have any interest in speaking out about it anymore. But
Yeah.
I think because my opinion, and sorry, I know this is totally like unwarranted, but I think it's because they tricked not only her, but like Kurt's dad and mom and stepmom and all of them into participating in that, saying that Frances was okay with it and that
Yeah.
this is what Frances wanted. And then Frances withdrew her support of it. And so I think they all feel pretty like bamboozled and blindsided and manipulated. Um,
Yeah.
and
Wendy did
saw
for
the
sure.
amount of, yeah, and the amount of damage that it did to Kurt and his legacy and reputation and everything. And they don't want to risk that happening again, would be my guess, with Tracy specifically, because she clearly still deeply loves Kurt. I think that's
Absolutely.
pretty obvious.
Yeah. Carol just said to Eric, I just wanted people to hear this. Yes, I lived in Menlo Park where Courtney, Trina, and Hank lived. That's where Trina, her stepmom, said that Courtney said she was going to kill herself a rock star someday.
Yeah.
Isn't that so weird? Do you ever remember as a teenager that that was one of your goals, Rich?
No. To
I wanted to
marry a
be a
rock
rock
star, I'll
star,
say I
but
wanted to
like,
either be one or marry one. I thought they were the hottest thing that's ever hit the earth. But yeah, no, not to have the death of one on my hands. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I
I
mean,
had a whole list of them I wanted to, have be my husband, things like that. But
I feel like I know what you were going to say there, and it wasn't be my husband. But I'm going to leave it at that. The Kurt Cobain Club mystique. Max claims that it's a lie about Tom walking off because Callie was going to be interviewed and soaked in bleach. Oh, I'm so happy you brought that up. Ben Statler told me on the phone that that's what Tom said. That was Tom's reaction. Now, I recorded that call. Sue me, I'm in Canada. And the girls have heard it. So there are numerous people in our group. One of the girls who used to talk to Max quite a bit said, well, look here, I can show you that Ben Statler said this, and this is the truth. There is no lying here. And in fact, I had this girl on our team. She's the same girl who posted the Jessica Hopper, that was her timeline. And so she's very above board, like very legit.
She's
And
awesome. I
she's
love
awesome.
her.
She
Yeah.
helped us with Joe many times. She's just an awesome person. But I said to her, can you listen to this? I don't want to listen to this again. I don't want to hear the stupid things I was saying or whatever, right? Like nobody ever wants to hear themselves on tape.
No.
And so she listens to this hour-and-a-half conversation between me and Ben Statler. And I go, is that what he says? And she's like, that's exactly what he said about Tom and Callie. And so I just wanted to, make sure that other people knew that, like, hey, this isn't shit that I made up or I'm misremembering. No, that's exactly what Ben Statler said. And so I guess
I'm not really sure why, but I think Max lies to cover for Tom quite a bit. I don't know if it's because they're so interconnected.
I think so.
But I'm trying to remember because I want to say, said that there's proof that he's seen proof that it couldn't have been Dylan. Well,
Yeah.
you couldn't have because none exists.
Yeah, exactly.
And especially like I can't say what the proof was because but I know for a fact that doesn't exist.
Yes.
And so it's just I don't understand. Like, say that that's your opinion. Say that from everything that that this is what you believe or that this is what the evidence tells us. But don't pretend to know something that you can't know or to have seen something that you've never seen.
Yeah, exactly. And this is my opinion about Max. I don't think they did their due diligence. I don't think they did the research that they claim they did in the book, and I think that's why he's sticking up for Tom, because if Tom goes down, so does he. Just my opinion. But I mean, the fact is that with Ben Statler, I believe then that girl gave him the recording because I said, yes, you can give him the part where Ben says that. We were still trying to show Max that because he thought I was lying or whatever I was doing, and so I said, give it to him, show him that I'm telling the truth. And I do also want to say that Max was 100% on board with Joe until Tom decided that he wasn't. And when I said to Max, because Max and I had a conversation, this I can't prove because I did not record it, but when I told him about Joe Burns and then I told him about Dylan, he said, huh. Okay, I could see that. That was the gist. He was not like, no, it was
absolutely
not Dylan.
not. I have this proof that I've already seen and heard and blah blah blah. Yeah.
Yep. And he'll probably deny that, and I can't prove it, so we'll just leave it at that. But that is my recollection. I think pride has a lot to do with the cover up. Yeah, this is our good friend Ward, SBD, Tom Grant, and many more will never admit they were wrong. Exactly.
No.
Yep.
Ryan said the signs have been there that Dylan was involved, and I very much agree. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you as well. Just trying to catch up here. Glad I was able to catch a live. We're so happy you're here, Kelly. Do we have a legal case against Courtney with evidence? I mean, no, we're not building a legal case. Our lawyer is also, I mean, he would basically, he's a professor now. He does obviously have a law degree, and I always call him a rock star. I mean, he's amazing. He could not go into court and represent us, but that's not what we're doing. We're not taking
No.
this to court. We're not suing anybody. We're
Yeah.
simply just giving our evidence.
Yeah.
How did y'all meet? Oh, that's a good question. Nobody's ever asked us that before.
No, they haven't.
Now the hate mob says I have a criminal organization, and I found all you guys.
Recruited us, yes.
Recruited, yeah.
But in reality, what happened was I was on family vacation last August. So it's been like a year, basically exactly now. And that's when you and Lisa posted the first announcement about having a witness. And I immediately joined Who Killed Kurt, like all of the things. And right after that is when I saw your interview with Matt Beal. And then Lisa brought me and Lisa reached out to me because obviously I was commenting and contributing and all of that. And that's back when, there was like maybe 50 of us in the Facebook group or something like that. And so she reached out to me, and then we pretty quickly, the three of us, she made a little group chat for the three of us. And so I got to meet Michelle. But my first time actually like meeting you was when we did that first podcast on, what was it, Rome? Was that the first one, or was it Alan Wrench?
Oh, I think it must have been. Well, it might have been Rome. Yeah, I can't remember either. Yeah. Okay.
I feel like it was Rome.
Okay.
But yeah, and I mean, we've been basically connected at the hip ever since.
Yes. Now, Lisa, I met her on I think it was not a Facebook group. I believe it was like a Rolling Stone message board where people were talking about it. Yeah, and it was like October, like almost 2 years ago, or beginning of November. And she was commenting, and I was like, now this chick knows her shit. Now this chick is thinking the way I'm thinking. And so I commented to her a few times, and then I think I said, are you on Facebook, or how do I contact you? And then, Lisa's very generous with her time and very like, yeah, of course, like DM me. And then, that's how Lisa and I got started together. And then, and then everybody kind of came in from there. So, Courtney is cray cray. Yes. Thank you so much, Ryan. I think I'm still a little bit behind. Bottom line, the police report autopsy and suicide note is suspicious. And that's page 1. I mean, the ballistics have proven that shell will not eject with a hand around the top part of the barrel. Rachel, this is one for you. What do you think of Charles Cross?
I think he was essentially in love with Courtney Love, and I think his entire prerogative was to sell the story that she wanted told. She called him Kurt's biographer. That's who she hired to be his biographer. No, I would not call him that. I think, especially in comparison to other people like even Michael Azerrad, who I'm not really a big fan of at this point. He knows more about Kurt and knows Kurt better, and I would consider him Kurt's biographer before I would Charles Cross. But he is always twisting everything to the Courtney narrative. He clearly gives her the final say on what his books say before he publishes them, and doesn't put anything out that doesn't mesh up with what she wants. And he doesn't even seem to keep track of the various versions of events that he publishes, because there's numerous versions of the same stories, and that apparently just doesn't matter.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. Yeah. And I'm trying to catch up on all these remarks, so I'm so sorry if I miss anybody. The universe doesn't like temper tantrums. Exactly right. And I try to throw them rarely, but here we are. So
hey. Sometimes you just got to get it out of your system.
Exactly. Yeah, Dr. Cyril Wecht, Ryan Martin says, definitely helped debunk Kurt's death as a suicide based on the toxicology. Yeah, that was, I think he did some really incredible work on the toxicology. Okay, Jason, I still don't see how no one grabbed a pic of Duff and Kurt and SeaTac. No way they weren't noticed. Yeah, I tend to not believe Duff sat next to Kurt.
No, I don't.
You actually brought up some stuff about GNR and the last time, didn't you? Recently, you don't believe that
I
that's
know
true.
I said something to you about it just the other day.
Right.
Because I've got screenshots, or I pulled certain parts of an article that I'm going to be putting on the Facebook group, but it's the Advocate article from, I believe it's 92.
Okay.
That Kurt talks about when Duff, and when him and Courtney got into it with Axl Rose. Sorry, I was blanking on his name. Oh my god. And then after that, Duff McKagan went after Chris, and it was this whole thing. Duff with a bunch of bodyguards and stuff, and I don't believe for a second that Kurt would sit there and be chummy and buddy buddy and chit chat like everything's great for, a couple of hours with the guy that did that to his friend and bandmate. Especially when Duff is close with Axel, who Kurt despises, and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
Yeah.
And
I don't either.
Duff's story is different every single time he tells it. It's different. Um, like there's one version where he says that he found out before it was even announced that Kurt was dead. Like there's just yeah, because like
Interesting.
he said that it was April 2nd, the morning of April 2nd when Kurt flew home, and then he said that it was a couple days later he got the
Oh,
call
okay.
that Kurt
Right.
was dead, or 2 days later. I want to say he said 2 days later,
Right.
but either way, it's different every single time he tells it, and I think he's making it up personally.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I don't believe that ever happened. Lauren buried my best friend today. He was a huge
Oh,
Nirvana fan.
I'm so
We played,
sorry.
I'm so sorry too, my love. We played the Unplugged show. Dumb started playing, and a dragonfly landed on my lap. My sign for my
Oh,
friend who passed. Oh, that's beautiful. So sad. We're so sorry.
yeah, he's still with you though.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um,
Ellen asked, has the private investigator in Seattle at the time of Kurt's death ever been identified? Are you talking about Ernie Barth? That's the only PI from Seattle that I'm aware of. He's the one that was watching the house and Caitlin's house, or Caitlin's apartment. Um, I believe Max has said that there were other PIs. I don't know that that's accurate, but I wasn't there, obviously. Um, but yeah, Ernie Barth definitely, and then Tom's partner at that time, Ben Klugman, are the only other two PIs that I know for sure were involved, and Barth is the one from Seattle.
yeah, yeah. And then Sabato asks, will the person who saw Kurt in the Rome hospital come to share their story in the future? I mean, he was a lovely person. I've emailed follow-ups a couple times now and haven't heard back, but a lot of times, life happens, and hopefully we will get him on. Certainly, if he's watching, we would love to have you on.
Yes, please.
Yes. So yeah, fingers crossed. Is it weird that Kurt's powder blue Dodge Dart was found in front of either Dave's or Chris's house? May be put there to make them suspect.
Wait, read that again. Sorry, I was reading another comment.
Just that the dart was at, no worries, that the dart was at Chris's house.
Yeah, so I know there's a lot of speculation, because like there was the dart at Chris's house, and then the Valiant's in the garage at the Lake Washington house, and then Tom Grant claims that the other car is suddenly there, like after the body is found. But then some people claim that no, that it was just the same car all along. I don't really know.
Yeah, I can't figure that one out either.
No. I mean, I don't see why somebody would bring his car back. And I honestly, I haven't really dug too much into the specifics of that piece of it yet. I'm still kind of working. I haven't gotten quite that far on the timeline yet. But I'm hoping that that's one of the things that I will be able to kind of flesh out and explain while I'm doing the timeline.
Yeah, and that thing is a beast, and I can't wait until you share that with everyone. I'm going to upload it into Chad. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to
Um,
be like, it's already like 80 pages long. And
um,
so
it's going to be so helpful. Jermaine, Michelle, and Rachel, you are both such strong, beautiful, and badass ladies. I admire and appreciate how hard you are fighting for Kurt more than I can say. Thank you. We love you,
thank you
Jermaine.
so
Thank you so
much.
much for
Thank
the
you.
kind words. Okay. Susan, that is my mom's name. What happened at Exodus for him to go back to Seattle?
That's a really great question. We would also love to know the answer to that. Some people say because not long before he had been talking to Gibby, he had also had a visit from Pat and I think it was Slim Moon. Is that who was with Pat?
Yes, I believe
Um,
so. Yeah.
but they supposedly brought him some stuff from Courtney, a letter and a magazine, I believe. And so people speculate that whatever was in that letter is what did it, what got him to go home, scared him, or made him realize that he had to take care of something right now, or sign his will, or whatever else. But unfortunately, I don't know that we'll ever actually know what the driving force was there, what the final straw was that pushed him to go ahead and get the heck out of there.
Yeah. No. Uh,
I wish he had stayed because I think if he had stayed, he'd still be here.
yeah. Yeah. For sure. Truth Seeker, how's Joe Burns these days? Joe is doing well. He's in his apartment, hanging out, just and of course, still willing to testify. So he is doing well. Cole, do you need any help making videos on specific topics? You talk a lot. Sorry, you talk about in the podcast. I use a lot of public domain footage for my MV, and I know there's tons of interviews of Kurt that are fair use. That would be amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah, please send us an email, and we would
that would
love
be
your help. Thank
amazing.
you so
Yeah,
much. Yeah,
thank you,
that
thank
would
you.
be awesome. Yes, Ellen, that's Daniel Clint Rich. Was there a guy with a private plane who said he flew Courtney up there?
Mm,
Um, yes, but the problem is that Daniel also told us he was going to lie and pretend that he did that because he wanted to smoke out the real killers. Um,
yeah,
so
there's
we can't really,
uh,
can't
yeah,
really say, yeah.
one way or the other with that. Because I mean the whole way that his name came up in the first place is odd. It just kind of seemed to suddenly come out of nowhere. Um, but his story that he told clearly was part of it was, I mean, he placed people like Dean Summers there. Like they're just preposterous stuff that clearly that's not true. And so, I,
Um, Sorry, B9 said, we're not hearing the strange noises. I think you were hearing my ring. So I just took it off. Somebody said they were hearing rattling. I'm so sorry. I talk with my hands so much. I apologize. So that is off. And
I
right
love
as we're going
that.
to end our video, I took it off. So, yeah. So my apologies. I don't think anybody has hacked us, but yeah. But so I think it's just my fancy ring. Blue. Tom means well, but has become more and more disappointed with everyone else. Yes, I agree with you. Rachel getting her Nesquik on. Do you have some chocolate milk?
Yes.
Oh, you did. Oh,
Strawberry milk.
strawberry milk. That's perfect.
My
Yes,
fave.
perfect. Oh, thank you so much for the $25.
Oh,
We just have a few things left to pay for, and we appreciate you guys so much.
very
Um,
much.
have we thought about reaching out to Kristen's family? We have talked to Jason, her brother, and I talked to Guy, her biographer, quite a lot. So I think that maybe once we actually make some headway on the case, I think that's something that we can definitely look at doing.
Lauren
Yeah.
Lauren asked, his left thumb was decomposing, right? We didn't already go over that, did we?
I think are they talking about right
Yeah,
thumb?
um
Did you say left?
the thumb that was around the gun for the.
Yeah, somebody said in the comments that it was just from the gun
Okay.
lying on there for 3 days. But yeah, that's exactly
Okay.
right.
I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that got covered. That's all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, thank you. And then Jordan wants to know, how do you feel about Alan Rich? Personally, I feel he was just a distraction. That's what the commenter says.
I'm yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
I think he got off on the attention and lying and the controversy, and
Yeah.
that's all there is to it. Um, I think that he convinced El Duce, and that El Duce actually believed it. Um, but I don't think he actually did it. No.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Ellen, you think Bean would want to know the truth, that her dad didn't leave her on purpose? I think she does know. We have it on fairly good authority that she does know that. So yeah, I hope that brings everybody a little bit of peace that Francis does know that. So I previously analyzed writer Albert Lanier, some crime cases while being interviewed on podcasts and shows. Never was interviewed about Kurt Cobain, but from what I have seen and examined, this is a clear homicide. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm not sure what your background is, Albert, but I think you're right. And if you have any questions, please email us or send us a message. And yeah, we'd love to chat with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love you sharing your opinion. It means a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely. My dog just got home and she's going to want dinner, so I'm just trying to see if there's. She's a baby.
Any last little ones?
Yeah, any last little ones here? I'm still at. Oh, I know. Yeah, Kurt's grandson will be a year. Amazing. AC, what will be the next step if they won't reopen the case? Well, we're not going to speak that into existence, but there are other things that can be done. And once we do this first step, it's not over. So I think that, I mean, as we all know, the universe doesn't work on our timeline, right? I really feel like we're on the path where this is going to happen. And I do think we are walking right into a situation where the truth is going to start, the lies are going to be unraveling. And so I think that this is going to be successful, but if not, we're not giving up. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
okay. Not to be a downer. I hope this doesn't happen. What is the plan? Okay. So yeah, I just kind of answered that same question. Yeah.
Yep. Because I mean, no matter what happens, we're not giving up, and we're going to keep, regardless of what happens with the SPD and the ME and what they do with the information. I mean, we're pretty sure that they're going to do what needs to be done. But either way, we're going to stay adamant on here, pushing the truth and picking the lies apart one at a time.
Yeah.
Fighting for Kurt
and I also wanted to say thank you very much to Chris and his quote when he sent us in a little gift is, our little group has always been and always will until the end. Godspeed to you and the team. So that's, exactly with what you're saying. Our little group, we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing this forward, but I don't, well, I mean, I do want to sound overconfident because you guys should hear Matt Bell. He is so confident. He's just like,
he really is, and I love it so much. He's
amazing.
Like, I mean, it's done. Yeah, we got this.
Yeah. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Cody, as well, for your gift. And I think I did answer your question about the peer review. Cameron, I'd love to help in any way possible. I have a background in law enforcement and private investigation. We would love it if you would email us. It's justice@whokilledkurt.org. And yeah, we would love to chat with you as well.
Yes, please.
Okay.
We're always happy to collab and talk to people and
absolutely
work together.
And just, we're so lucky because it's all these different people with kind of, well, Rachel and I think share a brain, but it's like everybody else always like, it's all these different sort of thought patterns. And it's so great because, we always get these different, different ideas and yeah.
Perspectives and things. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I'm just an asshole sometimes. I'm so happy that the truth is finally coming out. Always believed Kurt didn't do this. We totally agree. Now someone's going to edit me saying that, and then people are going to think I am just an asshole sometimes, which is fine because I am. So you know what? It's all good.
Hey, if you're not, that means you're letting people walk all over you, and
exactly,
ain't nobody got time for that.
Yes. Okay. One last question. Sorry, I'm going to say thank you to Lauren Thank you. Well, we agree with you. She's not a good human being. Thank you for the kind compliment. And the last one, Catherine Campbell Costello. Um, okay, sorry, I got to answer this other one. Is the new audio of Kurt true? That that AI video that people keep
Oh,
saying there's
God,
some audio
no.
of Kurt in the green box. There's no truth to that. So
no, it's that whole thing. It's blowing up all over YouTube, and they've got numerous different like cover photos for that picture. It's all the same video. It's all the same. I don't know if somebody's just bored or if they think they're cute, but none of it is based off of reality that I
no,
can tell.
exactly. It's
So
all just So
it's
it's
definitely not reflective of any of our evidence or any evidence that we've ever seen or that we know to exist.
yeah.
Period.
And there are about
So
6 of them, and they all have different fake AI thumbnails talking about new evidence, etc. And
different
the
news.
last one, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's Fox, and then it's like something else. Carol, is Matt Bell working with you again? Because they said he wasn't. The hate group said he was no longer working with us.
He's never not been working. He's been working
never
with us the
wavered.
entire time.
I won't
That has
comment.
never changed.
Yeah, I mean, he took down his videos for a certain reason. He will be putting them back up. He is absolutely still on our team. He has given me permission to let everyone know that he is absolutely still our investor and 100% working with us. He has never, ever not wanted to work with us, despite people emailing and harassing him and telling him lies, which has happened many times, unfortunately. But no, Matt Bell has never wavered. We are all a team. And so, yeah. Perfect. Okay, thank you so much, everyone who came by, and we will try to do another one here in a couple weeks.
Yes, please.
We're hoping to have this all submitted within about 4 to 6 weeks. So once we'll probably do another one in the interim, and then we'll do one after everything's submitted, and we can finally talk about a lot of things. Sorry, no, I don't think it's that, Michelle. Sorry. And then are you working with Chris Todd? No, I talk to Chris Todd every once in a while. He has actually been. I have no issues with Chris. We do share information, but we're not actively working together. But
no, I mean he's got some of his own ideas and stuff, but
Absolutely.
he's not. I don't think he's inherently. He's not done anything wrong to us.
Oh no, he's always been really supportive and really cool, and no issues at all. Like I said, I don't ever think that Chris is lying either. Like, I don't think Chris would go out and tell a lie. I think that if he says he believes Kurt was killed on the 2nd, that's because that's what he believes,
thinks.
genuinely.
Yeah.
So, there are a few little discrepancies, but otherwise I think we're all on the same page. And so, yeah. Cool. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And we will talk to you all very soon. And 4:20 a.m. Jordan, go to bed.
Okay. Yeah, get some sleep. Sweet dreams. Goodness, I'm off to do the same thing. So
bye, everyone.
Good
Love
night,
you guys.
Love you guys.